Welcome! My name is Kelly.
And I'm Emma.
And this is Fanimated, an animation fan podcast where we get a chance to geek out about our favorite animated media. And today, it's all about the Annie Awards. We've got a ton of awesome animated content to talk about. The Annie Awards are always super fun, and I just want to, take a moment to celebrate all of these wonderful shows and films that received awards this past weekend.
The sun'll come out tomorrow. Oh wait, wrong Annie, right? Okay, sorry.
Wrong Annie.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I'm on
great.
track now.
Yeah. The Annie Awards, though, I don't talk about the Oscars at all because I personally do not trust their views of animation. This
is an annual conversation, people.
This is no news to people who know me, but I don't like the Oscars. You can hear me talk more in depth about it actually in the Shrek episode. Josh and I talked about it.
That's right.
A lot. We had a very in-depth conversation about the Oscars. But basically, yes, they have an animated, feature film portion, but it's always, I never feel like it's given the attention and seriousness that it deserves. And so the Annie Awards are the complete opposite of the Oscars. It's all animation, all, voted on by people, jury that actually knows animation, people who are in the industry. We're able to celebrate animation in all forms and really specify not just best feature film, but best indie, best show, storyboarders, character designers, really just celebrate the industry as a whole. And that's what I really love about the Annies. Is it perfect? No, because no award show is ever going to be perfect, because it is based on opinion, Yep. Something that wins might be something that doesn't resonate with you as an individual, but that doesn't mean it didn't resonate with other people, and vice versa. So if anything, that's why I see award shows as a celebration of the industry, and the Oscars are still a great celebration of the film industry. They just might not accept animation into it as wholeheartedly as I would hope. But the Annie Awards is all animation all the time, so it's just a lot of fun that we get to see what people are excited about for the past year. So there are a lot of awards. And we're not going to go through all of them, but we're going to go through some of them and just talk about the ones we find interesting, and just talk about, what we think should have won, or if it was, a good run or not. So with all of that, preamble out of the way, let's just dive into it. Ready?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, to start off, Soul, Pixar's Soul is the big winner of this year. It received 7 Annie Awards, including Best Feature, Character Animation, Music, Storyboarding, Writing, Visual Effects. A ton of great awards. Honestly, it is a fantastic film, and it really sparked a lot of, imagination in the animation world. For me, Soul was technically really beautiful and very different than what I expected it to be, for sure, in a good way. And I do think that it kind of, feels a little surface level, even though it's supposed to be soul deep,
Right.
But it did feel kind of surface level for me in my viewing experience. And it maybe kind of tried to unfog the windows, but it didn't open the door, to the question that it was trying to ask. And because I love a good story that's like asking deep questions and getting you thinking. And I appreciate that it's an animated film that doesn't force, spoon feed you an answer. It kind of does at the end a little bit, but like it leaves a lot of things open to interpretation, which I enjoy and appreciate. But it didn't, its message didn't land with me specifically, but that is okay. That is just my personal viewing experience. What I really, really, really love about the film, and I think a lot of people do, is that it is, for a Western animated production, especially a feature film from Pixar, a huge studio, it is honestly a show for adults. It is a movie that you are going to get the most out of if you have lived through enough, of life to have experienced disappointments and have, if you resonate with the main character and have, spent your time working really hard on something, like it really is only something that you can relate to the most with time. And sure, there are definitely like lots of jokes and fun things for kids, but I've heard again and again people say that their children did not enjoy the film. And to that, I say, I don't think it was for them specifically. Yeah. So I think that is part of the reason a lot of people really, really love it. And again, like technically it's outstanding. And so I absolutely agree that, it was going to win some stuff this year. I was not surprised by that at all, especially the music. The music is really fantastic and deserves that for sure. However, let's talk about the other Best Feature nominees. We had Onward, also by Pixar.
Yes.
Yes. The Croods: A New Age, DreamWorks. I really love The Croods, and I actually haven't seen this second one. The Willoughbys, which is on Netflix, is just very fun and entertaining and colorful and just a fun one for sure if you have a Netflix and want to give that a shot. And Trolls World Tour, another DreamWorks animation film that I also did not see. And of course, I really liked Onward. Again, it maybe fell flat for me a little bit, but Emma, do you think Onward should have won? I know you're a big fan of that one.
I do really like that one. I do understand where you're coming from of where it could like fall a little flat, but overall, I just thought it was so fun to see like this adventure of two brothers trying to get their dad, for that one day, because it's just, I don't know, I feel like you don't see a lot of brother relationships or maybe I haven't, at least in my animated watching. But I just found it really touching, especially at the end when, one brother decides to let the other brother see the dad. And it just, it was really moving to me. And I just thought it was so fun because of the voice cast as well. But I think that it is a worthy nominee.
Absolutely. And I just think, Pixar was really on their game
Yes.
last year, like really providing some awesome stuff. I'm interested to see what they'll do in the future with Soul under their belt now, and kind of that idea of like, okay, can we keep making things that are maybe a little more challenging than the typical like, Western animated, production is, both, in content, I guess is my original thought of that, like challenging content, but also just like technically. So that'll be really interesting to see. And even looking at like Onward versus Soul, like there's even like a difference in technology between those two. Like obviously Onward is also beautiful. Like there are genuine landscapes that I think are like absolutely stunning. I was just
for sure
so impressed. Soul, because I guess they're dealing with some more abstract things, they're able to really, explore more and be a little creative with how they visually represent these, uh, inner thoughts and your soul and your this other
Yeah.
world, So I think that's really fun. So I hope to see more great, Pixar films in the future. I mean, we have Luca this summer, so that'll be fun.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, so that's Pixar Soul. That's our my basic thoughts on that one. But there's another big winner of the awards, and that is Cartoon Saloon's Wolfwalkers.
Yay!
Yes.
I would just like to point out I still haven't seen this film, but I just love Cartoon Saloon. Like, I mean, like, it is just, our heart and soul. So, like, I'm all for them. I'm sure it was beautiful, and it is also on my list. You have to understand, folks, I've been very busy lately.
Oh my goodness, it deeply hurts me that you haven't seen this film yet. Like, guys, Wolfwalkers is so amazing. I mean, we've talked about Song of the Sea on the podcast. It's another Cartoon Saloon film, one of our absolute favorites. And Wolfwalkers just like takes this Cartoon Saloon just has this beautiful, breathtaking, fun, playful style, and they bring you into these interesting, fantastical, like Irish mythology stories.
Yeah.
And Wolfwalkers is looking at this girl who can turn into a wolf, basically, or when you go to sleep, you become a wolf and you're out with the wolf pack. It's very fascinating. And then there's of course like colonizers, coming to Ireland. It's a very like, man versus nature type story. But it's so, again, like challenging the preconceived notions of Western animation. And granted, this is an Irish film, and an independent one. So it obviously has a lot more freedom to be a little more radical. Not that it even is radical, might not be the right word at all. But it is deep and it is dark. It's actually considerably dark compared to the other Cartoon Saloon films. Granted, Breadwinner is pretty dark too. So at least definitely compared to the other Tom Moore films, it is darker. And I think it's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. Totally blew me away. I mean, I was expecting it to blow me away though, so it wasn't like a surprise or anything.
I just have to ask this one question, Kelly. Is this film gonna make me cry?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some emotional moments for sure, but I would say it's definitely on the same level of Song of the Sea kind of emotions. So it has its moments. So, but yeah, so Wolfwalkers won Best Independent Feature, Character Design, Production Design, and Voice Acting for Eva Whittaker. So a lot of good stuff happening there. The other Best Indie Feature nominees were A Shaun the Sheep movie, Calamity Jane, On Gaku, Our Sound, and Ride Your Wave. Which brings me to an observation that I had when I was looking over the nominees last week was there's quite a few anime actually on this nominee list. Yeah. And another reason I love the Annie Awards because they're represent. Yeah, just like taking in consideration all of animation worldwide, including, Wolfwalkers being an Irish film. I will say there's a lot on the nominees list and winners that I have not seen, partially because there's just a lot of animated television series that I don't get through, and also because they are, also showing things like preschool content, grade school content, all of that stuff that does also deserve recognition for all the hard work that gets put into it, but not necessarily stuff that I watch on a regular basis. But I do want to mention Best TV Media for Children is Hilda.
I knew it. I was like, I bet it's Hilda.
And I mean, it was going up against She-Ra and the Princesses of Power and Star Wars The Clone Wars.
Oh, wow.
I was like, dang. But it's for specifically Hilda, episode 9 of the new season, The Deer Fox. And if you have seen the new season of Hilda, you know that is one of the best episodes in the whole show.
Oh my goodness. It's crazy that it beat those other two out, though. Like, I mean, it's a great show.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed. But it's fascinating.
Absolutely. And even it had Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a competitor as well, which I have not seen, and I'm not a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that is a very, very beloved show, especially by fans, because it's really reinventing the concepts of that show and like just breathing incredible new life into it. And the scenes that I've seen are absolutely stunning, and it just has super fun action sequences. So maybe I will give that a shot at some point. But yeah, just like it's tough competition, man. And Hilda standing atop them all.
Seriously.
So good. Hilda does not stop there. It also won Best Editorial and Best Character Animation for TV media. So Hilda is just doing superb. Thank you to everyone who works on that beautiful, beautiful show.
It is a beautiful show. Though I will say, I feel like the character animation in She-Ra is pretty good. Like, I don't know. She-Ra and her magical hair.
Oh, yeah. I'm there with you on that one. For sure.
And I have not seen Star Wars, The Clone Wars, because I watch the main Star Wars movies for the sake of geekdom, but I myself am not a huge Star Wars person. Mm-hmm. So I support it, but like it's not like my jam, you know?
Yeah, I actually have not seen it either. But it's on my list.
I know that at least one of us or someone on the podcast does need to watch it because I think it's been requested. Am I wrong?
Yes. Star Wars: The Clone Wars has been requested by reviewers on Apple Podcasts, which, by the way, if you have not left us a review and told us what we should be talking about, you should do that. And while I'm in this little, like, advertisement bubble, you can also vote for upcoming episode topics at patreon.com/Fanimated. If you have something you want us to be talking about, your voice will be heard over on the Patreon. So maybe we'll have to put Star Wars: The Clone Wars in there at some point. It did win Best Music.
I'm not really surprised. I feel like we usually get pretty good soundtracks from them.
Absolutely we do. So I am not surprised either. Another show that I've been watching a little bit more recently, and I'm not at all caught up. Like, it's just every once in a while. But on Disney Plus, you can watch Amphibia, which is this very charming show about this girl who, like, magically teleports to this land of frogs.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about this.
And it's so fun. Like, she just, lives with this little family and becomes adjusted. Everyone thinks she's a monster because she like is super tall and like has crazy hair. But she's really just like, I'm just a kid. And it's very fun. It's charming. It's enjoyable. I feel like I'm still at the early stages of the show, so I feel like things are only just starting to kind of ramp up in the plot department.
Sure.
But nevertheless, it's still a really fun one, so I would recommend that. And it won Best Character Design, so that's pretty fun too.
Have you seen any Jason Funderburgers in that show yet?
No, I haven't.
Or whatever the frog ended up being called in the end.
Yeah, they called the frog Jason Thunderburger at the end of Over the Garden Wall. Man, is that a good show.
Oh, yes.
The best. And Best Character Design, Amphibia was up against Craig of the Creek, Looney Tunes cartoons, The Owl House, and Brand New Animal, which, again, is another anime in this lineup.
Right.
Which is very fun to see.
That's awesome.
Like, it's just cool. It's cool to see anime being recognized.
Yeah, it's definitely come out, like, in the last few years a lot more, which I'm very excited about because anime is amazing and it should be recognized as such. So come on, you old Western judgers.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, we live in such a connected world. Like, the world is so small that we should, be recognizing animation from everywhere. And, the Oscars definitely, like, they've had, some Ghibli stuff on their animated roster before, and they have a few other things. But, I mean, there's just so much out there that I don't feel like they open the door to. So it's just fun to see anime here. Even in Best Direction for TV and media, Great Pretender was a nominee. It didn't win, but that was there too, and I was really excited about that. Because Great Pretender is also a really fun show.
Yeah, super fun. I haven't finished it, but I have started watching that, and that's a fun one.
Absolutely. It's just crazy and colorful and insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the ones I really wanted to talk about, and just give a quick shout out to, obviously, Soul and Wolfwalkers just dominating. It's fun to see, especially, guys, go watch Wolfwalkers. Like, it's amazing.
Oh, I will.
It's so good. And then you get caught in watching all the other Cartoon Saloon productions because they're all fantastic.
Absolutely.
And for a year that was a little, disappointing, to say the least.
Rocky, rough, however you want to describe it. Sure.
Yeah, in lots of ways. 2020 still had quite a bit of good animation to go through. So it's really fun to see the celebration of that. And, 2020 might have been rough, but at least we had this great Soul and Wolfwalkers.
Yes. I mean, you're right. Even though it was a harder year, I mean, that animation stayed strong and it got me through a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. So, Onward was my, last film in theaters. It was literally the week before everything shut down around here. My friends and I decided to go, and we really, really, really enjoyed it. And it was like literally the Wednesday before things started to shut down. And so that's like always gonna be associated in my brain is Onward was like the last thing that I saw in theaters. But that's all right. Now we're gonna go to the theater and see Demon Slayer this weekend.
Oh my gosh, I'm so ready. I'm so pumped, Kelly. Like, you're going to be here in like a week and we're going to watch Demon Slayer in the theater. Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited. I think I will cry.
I think I might too. Like, just out of pure happiness. And trust me, folks, this is not going to be a cheery show, okay? Like,
no, it's rated R.
Not at all. If I would be crying from this show, it would be from the violence and how horrifying it is. But I can assure you, I'll probably be crying from just sheer happiness of being there.
Yes, me too. And there's
or the animation just be like, wow, it's so beautiful.
But genuinely, my expectations are pretty high. But to be honest, even if it just looks beautiful for at least like a good 15 seconds, I will call it worth it and praise it as a masterpiece. Because I will be so happy.
You heard it here first, folks.
Because I will be so happy just to be seeing a good anime film in theaters. Just to see an anime film in theaters.
Right. Yes.
Actually, it's a whole different experience. Emma and I are obviously huge fans of going to the movie theater.
This is true.
And
it's a good time.
It's a fun time. It's a special event. You make it special.
Yeah, and it really is a wondrous way to watch something for the first time, because we're all used to, watching our Netflix on our laptop or our phone or just at home, and that's all good. But there's something so fun about going out with friends and just like having this dark theater and a absolutely beautiful view, which like with the ultra screens and whatnot, and just being able to really, especially with anime, I was just geeking about this the other day, is like going to see an anime film in theaters like changed my life because it just like you see the animation like in a whole new light, and it's freaking beautiful, and it's just an experience of its own.
It truly is. It's completely something else, and not just streaming on your laptop. Like,
Absolutely.
especially when you see it when the theater, has other fans in it, and then you're like, camaraderie in our fellow
Yes.
nerddom.
Oh my gosh, like I went to Weathering with you last year, and I went by myself, which I rarely go to the theater by myself. I think I've done it twice in my life. And it was so fun because like everybody like was shocked or laughed at the same parts that I did, and we were all like, the theater was full and we were all geeking out together, and I was like, yes, this is the good life.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, it's so fun. I'm looking forward to it. So everyone go support your local theater. They need it. And, even if that's just going and buying some popcorn to go, which my theater has been doing all through COVID. So that's been a way I can support them without, having to go see something if I'm not comfortable with that. Because, I really love the movie going experience, and I want theaters to continue to thrive.
Yeah, of course.
Although I was having that conversation with somebody recently where it's like, okay, how bad, is this gonna, even not, 2020 specifically, but just in general, like, because streaming is so common and dominating over our media, like, when will there come a point where theaters are the rarity? Like, will there be a point where, most people stream stuff, and maybe theaters, like movie theaters, become like, traditional theaters where it's just a fancy thing that you do for fun once in a while? Like, will they have to adapt, like, and offer more like dining experiences? Like, what is the theater of the future going to look like? Like, is it still going to be the same, or are we going to have all of these major, huge movie theaters around? Like, what's that going to look like?
I don't know.
I personally assume that they will always be around, but if there, does come a time where streaming is the usual way for, productions to be released, like, then I think there will still be theaters that just will be more of like a special thing, like that certain people like me are willing to pay for because because of the experience. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's interesting. I will say that, like, there definitely are lots of films even this year that are switching back over to theater only. So I don't necessarily know if that's like in the immediate future at all. Because, like, honestly, the film, everyone involved with the film, and then the theaters themselves, everyone makes more money when it's released in the box office theater. But
Right.
so they're going to choose that if they can, for now. But when's that going to change, or how will that change? I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to think about with streaming nowadays being such an option, and especially after last year where that kind of was the only option. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I hope to be continuing to go to the movies.
Same. Absolutely. And it's always a fun time, and it's always enjoyable. So yeah, that's about it for the Annie Awards this year. I'm definitely looking forward to a lot more animation of 2021, and so we'll see if any of those fun titles will show up next year. Has there been anything yet this year that you hope to see at the Annie Awards next year? Or anything that's to come that you think will probably show up?
Yeah.
I know we talked about a lot of like our 2021 predictions in our 2020 year in review episode that everyone should go listen to. But where are you standing right now with 2021 animation?
I mean, it will always be my dream for more anime to come to the Annie Awards.
Yes.
I maybe this is just wishful thinking, but Fruits Basket. Anybody? Anybody want to nominate them? Because I mean, Fruits Basket is amazing.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not sure. It's a lot to think about, and there's just so much out there.
Absolutely.
There's so much variety. Like, how do they even decide on these awards? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's crazy though. I definitely think that Fruits Basket will at least get a Crunchyroll award nomination or 5.
Better, dang it. Otherwise, I'm going to be a very, very sad camper.
Oh, yes. I mean, it did win Best Drama this past Crunchyroll Awards. So that's
true.
That's, it well deserved.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Talk about drama.
The drama is real. But for the Annie Awards next year, like, really the only big thing that I've seen so far is Raya and the Last Dragon, which I think was enjoyable for sure. You can listen to the Raya and the Last Dragon episode that I did with Kate and Laura. We really enjoyed it. We had a good time. It's not my favorite Disney heroine film by a long shot, really. But seeing as it's kind of the only thing thus far that there is to talk about, I'm sure it'll show up in conversation about the year of 2021. Granted, a lot of really big stuff usually comes out at the end of the year, but really the only other super big film that I can think about right now is Luca. That's Pixar's film this summer. So,
right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what else gets released later this year.
Mm-hmm.
But as always, I'm watching a lot of anime these days too, so
what?
But yeah, so that's like obviously a lot of where my focus lies. But that's all right. There's still lots of great Western animation, and Western animation continues to develop and change, and that's really exciting. So thank you again, Emma, for joining me today. This was great.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, everyone, for listening and joining us today. Let us know your thoughts on the Annie Awards by emailing us at fanimatedpodcast@gmail.com or by messaging us on Instagram and Facebook. We're at Fanimated Podcast. Don't forget to leave us a rating and review telling us what we should be watching next. And if you'd like a chance to vote for upcoming episode topics and hear bonus content, don't forget to join the Fanimated crew over at patreon.com/Fanimated. Thank you to everyone who does support the show and makes this show possible. Our music is provided by Purple Planet Music, and the art is done by myself. You can find me on Instagram at CandorDraw. This was super fun. Nathan and I will be discussing some what you watching stuff next week. So in the meantime, stay tuned.
And stay animated.
Thank you again. Wow. No, I just said thank you to you. I try, guys. You know what's sad?
I'm falling to pieces. Yeah.
But like, I literally have a degree in theater where, we took an entire class just about how to pronounce our consonants.
And yeah, voice production.
And I can't say Purple Planet Music provided by Purple Planet Music. That is just a stain on my degree.
Aw, it's okay.
This is what I have come to. This is what my education brought me.